Welcome to BH Business Spotlight, where business stories come to life. Hosted by Kaylee Brokenshire and Alex Brown, a show that dives into the people behind the businesses, the ambition, the challenges, and the partnerships that turn ideas into reality. And today, we're talking about building a business together, creating freedom through entrepreneurship and helping other businesses grow behind the scenes. Our guests are the founders of Virtual Lottie, a husband and wife team who have built a successful virtual assistant agency and coaching program designed to support entrepreneurs, business owners, and growing brands. If you're interested in business growth, remote working, entrepreneurship, and building a business that creates both impact and freedom, you're going to love this episode. Please welcome Lottie and Luke. Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of the BH Business Spotlight podcast with me, Alex Brown.
And me, Kaylee Brokenshire. Today we are joined by Lottie and Luke from Virtual Lottie, a multi-award-winning VA and social media agency specialising in marketing and business support for growing businesses. So thank you so much for joining us today, both of you.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
When you say it like that, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. When you say multi-award-winning, we do forget to say that every time.
Tell us about the awards. Let's start there.
Oh my gosh, can you even remember?
So the first one I think was a Bournemouth business to business award.
We weren't even in the country.
No, we were travelling at the time.
We were
working, doing the digital nomad.
We did the digital nomad lifestyle as social media and virtual assistant stuff, and we're like, wow, that looks so cool. We'll try that out. Worst decision we'd ever.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. But we were basically abroad, so we basically
sent your mum, didn't we?
We sent my mum
as our entourage.
I
to
love
collect
that.
on our behalf.
Is there like an acceptance speech where she's like
she
on behalf
was,
of?
Yeah.
Oh,
she
nice.
was,
Yeah.
and she's an entrepreneur, so she was stood there going, and I'm also, and I was like, no, Mum, it's not about you. But yeah, so that was the first one,
That was
wasn't
the
it?
first one, yeah. And then we picked up
Two more
agency ones last year. And I think you got a Women in Business award as well, which is cool.
Well done. So when did you first start? Go back to the very beginning of how you got started.
In 1972. We started, so I started the company, that's why my name is on the title. We are going to be changing it to & Co because obviously we are a duo
And for my
now.
ego as well.
Massively. And I started it when I just came out of teaching. So I met a girl who was a VA in the local area and I was like, well, what is that? And she explained it. I went, I could do that. Especially because, I don't know about you guys, but you look at Dragon's Den and go, wow, I'd love to be a business owner, an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. But I don't know anything about products, experiments, inventing something. And then when the VA thing came out, I was like, well, that's a service. And that's me offering that service. And I can do that. I used to be a teacher. I worked in admin. So I was like, okay. Move the microphone. Okay, yeah, let's have a go. So I started it off, was full-time within 2 months. And then I got to a point where I kind of got money greedy, as we all do at the very beginning. And then I got to like 60 hours a week, which is why I left teaching. And then I said, Luke, do you know what? I'm earning what we were earning at the same time as teachers. Do you want to come on? And he was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, took my last class because I was a science teacher, got my exam group through the A-levels, and then packed in teaching and joined in.
So quite quickly after Lottie left
About
the
a
teaching
year
world.
and a half.
A year and a half in, and then we were getting married. Like, there was a lot going on in that year.
Yeah.
We got married,
Got a cat.
rented the house out, and moved abroad. Not with the cat, the poor thing, but she got given to my sister for a year. But yeah, so a lot happened in that time.
Yeah.
Wow. How is working? You've been a few years now working together.
Yeah.
How is working as husband and wife?
It can be at times interesting, but back years ago, we'd only been together for a year and a half, 2 years. We moved to Spain to do TEFL teaching. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of the only people we knew in a different city, in a different country. So I think a lot of the stresses and kind of incidents happened then. And then we'd worked in summer camps and stuff together as well. So I think by the time this came around, we'd kind of worked out what did and didn't work-ish. And then it was a bit more intense because obviously this is, when you're an employee, you can kind of just be a bit more slack, whereas when it's all on you, there's a lot more pressure.
Have you guys ever worked with your partner?
No, this is why I'm asking. Because it's in the pipeline.
Interesting.
So now your honest answer, Lottie.
Just tell you were going to give a different version.
I could get, basically, the times we worked together before, I naturally am a leader. don't I? And I like control, unfortunately. So for him and everyone else in my life. So I naturally do take leadership because I need a routine. I like structure. So when Luke came on, it wasn't necessarily to be a business owner. It was more like an associate coming on and just doing some work. And you were just going to do like engagement, maybe some
silent
scheduling,
partner.
all the bits we don't want to do. And then he was promoted like 15 times in 2 years. And then it got to a point where I just turned around and went, I can't do this alone anymore. I feel like I'm just holding everything on my shoulders. I need support. And you slowly but surely took over the whole agency. It's now Luke running it from day to day. I am the face of the company. Yeah. And I also run a second business now. So it's been nice to kind of have that separation now between two of us. But we come back together every month, do goals and stuff. So we're kind of more like,
we working next to each other than necessarily
Yeah.
on the
Parallel
same
almost,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
You understand
yeah.
what your strengths and weaknesses are.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we quite quickly worked out what bits I was good at, which bits I was less good at. So they were the ones
Same
that
with me
Lottie
as well,
and
yeah.
vice versa. And then we kind of had our separate lanes to stay in. And I think that helped because it was like, didn't have to check on each other. It was like any other job. If you know what you're doing, they know what they're doing. There's no like clashing. So that helped, I think.
If you both think about your partners, what could they take for you? Could you really think about that? What could your partner take? That's where
I've
I
got a
was.
long list.
Washing, the laundry.
Yeah.
If you no, go on.
Interesting though. So you know what your tasks are to achieve and working to that, and then coming together to regroup, reset the goals.
Yeah, this is 3 years in the making
Yeah.
though. Like this has taken so much teething, and
Yeah.
we're still working it
Working
out.
out
I think
what
you always
works.
are as business owners, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think ultimately you'll always do like it's always evolving. You know what I mean? Like something works until it doesn't, and then you need to change it.
Yeah,
So I
100%.
think that's it. But like you say, just having those lanes. So not that you have to check up on each other, but you know that that's being done. And it's just working to your strengths as well.
Yeah, we used to have meetings weekly. We've now changed it to fortnightly. I think we have like a fortnightly meeting and a monthly meeting, and those are just now like checking up on each other just to make sure we're both okay. Sometimes we do accidentally be like, what do you think about this? And then I'll turn around and go, there's a wall here. I'm not here. I'm like,
The
because I don't know about
invisible
you, but
office wall.
when you're in the focus point and you get disrupted, it's easy for him because he can just like dabble. And sometimes you see him in his headphones, he's going, and he's like tapping the table. And I'm going, that's the irritation now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've
So
tried.
you both work. Obviously, what you do. You said you will talk about going digital nomad in
Yeah.
a mo, but you can do ultimately what you do anywhere remotely. So you
Yeah.
currently work from home predominantly.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
How do you switch off when it's not work time, or do you?
We've got so much better, especially when we were traveling and stuff, because time zones were weird. Sometimes we'd be in New Zealand. Things were all thrown out of whack. So we were trying like to WhatsApp each other or to email things,
But
discuss
even
stuff.
clients, it was got to a point where Luke was asleep and I was at 1 a.m. in a camper van in New Zealand on the phone to a client. Like that is how
We got a bit,
dubious it got.
but now,
now-
one thing we do that we do stick to really religiously, I think helps a lot. If we're going for a walk or it's the weekend and we think of something, we just email each other or email ourselves from our phone so that you don't lose the thread.
Yeah.
But then when you actually go into work mode, open the laptop, because we don't have our work emails on our phones either. So it's personal email to work inbox.
Yeah.
So then come Monday morning, you look at it and you go,
Good idea.
oh yeah, I was going to talk to you about
Yeah.
that. And then it
Yeah.
helps.
And then it doesn't become your conversation on your walk at your
Yeah,
weekend.
because otherwise so quickly you could be like, oh, I've had an idea about so-and-so. And then 3 hours later, you're still kind of like spitballing.
But sometimes we'll go, and you're like, oh no. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, and he's like, can I see it? And I'm like, no, because it's about both of us, so I can't. And like, just to, it's, don't get me wrong, there are still grey areas. Like you can't help it sometimes. Like at the moment, we're both doing launches. So that's, you know, you sometimes are just like, but yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? But weekends off, unless we've been a bit flexible, like bank holiday weekend. I was like, I'm not going to IKEA during bank holidays. We did it Friday and worked Monday.
Oh yeah.
Bank
But you've
holiday
got-
Mondays are beautiful, aren't they, when you're working? no disruption.
Yeah.
You can actually work. But yeah, we're finding the boundaries, aren't we?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's come from probably making the mistakes
Yeah,
before.
trial
So
and error. 100%.
feeling
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Still having trial and errors.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're ever going to be perfect in business, are you? No.
If you go back to like the beginning though, so if you think about like teaching, what was the moment where you were like, I want to do something else? Or actually the element of being a business owner before the VA thing came into it, that element of actually running your own thing?
Honestly, I just basically had enough of teaching, and it wasn't even the students, it wasn't even the parents, it was the staff morale. Like, I got so I look at it as like, you know, Shrek when he talks about the onion and like you're cutting it
Peeling the
down.
layers, yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
I felt like my layers being peeled off to the point where I just didn't even know who I was anymore. I lost all my confidence, my value, my respect towards myself. And I went to a musical theatre, amateur theatre group, and then that's where I met the girl, and I made lots of new friends. I got my confidence back, and that's where I started to pursue it. And then we found out some really bad news about a friend, didn't we? And it was like quite heavy personally, and we just turned around and went, life is too short for this. It was half term on a Friday. My caretaker chucked me out at 7 o'clock at night because I was still at school. I wasn't even like celebrating half term. So that just showed I was living in work mode, just survival rather than living a life. And that's just not how we want to be anymore.
No.
So we basically made the movement. And every day we do a little bit of journaling, talking when we walk, and we just say how grateful we are. Because I think being business owners is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
We're all sat here having a good time in Bournemouth in a podcast studio.
Yeah.
Like, you can't complain.
This is work, mate.
This is our work. It's amazing. It's
yeah,
absolutely
when you break
amazing.
it down like that, it's cool.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm sure traveling and managing the time zones and managing a business whilst being in New Zealand was tough, and I'm sure it probably had some downs to it. But the fact that you could choose to do that, whether it was its best success, I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear. But you were able to see some of the world, right? Which you couldn't do when you're teaching, when you're in that classroom.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. And
What
I
would
think
you
we
say?
gave it we gave the digital nomad thing a really good go. But I
Yeah.
think the first sort of 6 months we'd booked before we went quite optimistically. And I think in our heads,
And what do you mean by optimistically?
I think in our heads because we both travelled separately in our early 20s. So it's kind of like move every 3 or 4 days.
Backpacker style.
Backpacker style, so
we had a big backpack
we
and a
booked
small
that in.
backpack
And
with
laptops.
Laptops. And then we were like,
That's
we can-
optimistic. I can already
we can go
imagine.
to this
Yeah,
place.
that's what I mean. We really went with the mindset that we're still 22. We're not. We're in our mid-30s, guys.
So
Like,
it's
we
kind
love
of
a pillow.
different pillows, lack of sofa, all the time, constantly moving. And you'd go to a new place and be like, right, we're going to this cool city. We've got 4 days. Let's get there. And it's like, right, we need to also work full time. So it's like, do the meetings, do the work. But then you'd be like, oh, but we haven't seen the night market. We haven't seen this monument, that monument. So you try and fit that in the evenings. So it was
The
kind
guilt, it's a weird guilt. I don't know if you've ever had it when it's like you feel like you're being rebellious if you finish work before 5 or you start after 9 o'clock, right?
Do you think it's instilled in you from...
It's still from school, from work. And then when you're traveling, you feel guilty you're not working. When you're working, you're looking outside going, oh, I want to be in that sea right now. Like, you're having this argument with yourself constantly. It got better.
We got so much after the first sort of 6 months. We kind
we
of
had a
like, right,
breakdown.
we need to do months,
Like we
I
all
think,
do.
in
And then it got
places.
better.
And then we kind of gave ourselves more time, chilled out a little bit with our expectations on both things. I think on the traveling and on the work. And then the last 6 months, even the first 6 months, were really cool. To be
It was amazing. It was just a blur. It was a massive blur.
So interesting. So if somebody else was thinking about running or does already run an online business and they wanted to do similar, what advice would you give them from some of the mistakes that you made?
I'd say slow and steady.
Slow, and I wouldn't even say stay a week, stay a month in each place, like
at least.
make the most, because when you're backpacking you are only doing 2 or 3 days, so you make the most out of the 2 or 3 days and do everything. So when you're working full time, you've only got 2, 4, 8 days worth of window to actually make the most out of it. And your business can't be put aside either, because that's you limiting the quality of work that you're giving your clients. So you've got to have a really fine balance. So I would say, like, we really enjoyed it when we did a month, didn't we?
Yeah.
If we had 6 weeks, I think that would have been a really good, enjoyable, breathable time.
Yeah, because you can settle into the local community, the workspaces. You've got enough time to have some weekends in that city, some away.
Because every time that we were moving, you had to think about the next flight, the next accommodation. When we moved, exactly,
Yeah.
it was a lot. Yeah, and then when we
Countlessly,
moved
yeah.
back, we were like, we're just going to enjoy the holidays. And then we went on 9 holidays in the last year and a half, which has been are like godsend.
Yeah,
we're
laptop free holidays.
Switch off
free
holidays.
Yeah, actually kind of
been a
laptop at home, delete social media off the phone and just go.
Yeah,
and
we now have a work phone with all of the social media on, so then we can just turn it off.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing.
It's quite a refreshing thing to hear about travelling, because I think when people assume that's the holy grail, right? If you work from a laptop, you can do it from anywhere, and it's almost like, I've got this freedom, I can literally do whatever I want. But I think sometimes it's trying it, but I think not just expecting it to be this thing, because I think everyone works differently as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I literally couldn't think of anything worse, but because I like routine, but that's only because I've tried different things, and I'm like, I quite like being at home. Do you know what I mean?
So
With
do
routine
we.
and structure. Yeah.
So do we. We got caught in the Iran war stuff, so we're in India, and we got stuck there for an extra week and a half. Luckily, we had our laptops anyway. We weren't meant to work, so we had that extra 2 weeks there. And every day I was sat there just going, I just want my bed, my cats. Like, that's all I wanted. So and I love routine as well.
Yeah.
I think it also helps you as well, because then you can go, you can kind of plan your day around it. And
On the flip side, though, imagine if you were employed in that scenario,
this is what I mean.
where
Look
you
at us.
where you couldn't have you know there would have been a period of unpaid leave, or even sick or something, if you can't physically be in the classroom or in the hospital doing your nurse job, whatever it might be like that.
Yeah.
At least you've got that
Exactly,
flexibility.
yeah.
This is
I
why
mean,
when we were in the sea, just being like, this is so cool. But in the back of our head, we're like, are we ever going to get home? Like, are the cats all right? We were like looking on the doorbell every now and again to check our parents. We're checking on them and stuff, weren't we? But yeah, you are completely right. We are very grateful we've had both scenarios now.
Yeah,
And we're quite content.
And the travelling was amazing. We're so glad we got to do it. But it was nice to kind of go, right, we know how it would work better, but we're quite comfortable to stay at home and just have nice.
See the world in a switch off holiday mode rather
Yeah.
We look at people now and go, you're such liars. Don't give off this facade.
I think with the business, it doesn't always have to be locational freedom though as well. I think sometimes that's what we think with business owners.
100%.
It's like, is it always need to be location? But actually it's the freedom. I mean, your day looks like how you want it to look, right? You know what I mean? If you want to train at midday, train at 6 a.m, or whatever your day looks like and whatever you spend your time doing, that's still freedom as well. But it's not overlooking that.
Exactly.
And
I
being
think
like,
I'm going to do a tip run on the way home
Yeah,
today, because the tip would have been
He's so
busy
excited.
at the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's like, we can load the car up, we're already
little
out.
things like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, what's on your vision board for this summer? Was it something about the garden on Friday?
Yeah, build up some. I'm going to have half day Friday starting soon to build some raised beds, grow a bit of vegetables, spend a bit of time out the bottom of the garden.
That's better than barley, I think.
Screw you, Barley.
I just want to plough a bit. But the ability to be able to do that at midday on a Friday,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
when
amazing.
actually before, especially because you've been in that employed role, like you like say you're so, what's the word, like compacted to when you can do the stuff that you want to do.
Especially with teaching, although you do kind of, a lot of people think you get a lot of time off.
No.
You're told when that time off is, and there's very little flexibility
Yeah.
if you want time off to do any other things. It's kind of very much, you have to do this. So
Could you go back into employment now that you've been self-employed?
To be fair, I wasn't employed. Like, I've been in business for like 20 years, so majority of the time. But I have done, when business have started, I've had an employed role as that builds up.
Yeah.
But no, I'd be horrendous at being employed.
We've talked about this.
Yeah, we've talked about it. I'd be so
I
bad.
was 13 years employed, and went cold turkey into setting up my own business. And after 2 years, I certainly wouldn't go back now.
No.
Yeah,
The flexibility
obviously
of
has
it.
its challenges, as we all know as business owners.
It can be lonely as well. I think that's that's the one thing I'm really grateful for, is the
Just
fact
one.
that
Yeah.
of many, I think, is the fact that I've had some struggling recently, and it's like, you know, when you just have moments and you go, oh, it'd be really good just to get another person's opinion before I answer this email. We've all got those emails that come through and you go, oh, how do I answer this? And I wanted a second or third opinion, so I used ChatGPT, Claude, and then I was like,
Human.
yeah. And I was like, I can't. So we would just sit together and just brainstorm for an hour. And we do it for each other, don't we? Like with Virtual Lottie, if you've got like a proposal to do. And it's just really nice to have the other person to bounce off, especially because we're yin and yang, really, aren't we?
Yeah, we have very different ways.
You're organised chaos.
You're
I'm
just
organised.
organised, yeah.
I'm structured. My issue is I'm too structured. So he'll come in with his flexibility mode and I'm going, you ruined my calendar. And I'm like, how do I now I'm like malfunctioning. I feel like I'm a robot sometimes. So he's been a really positive influence in this fact that I could be more flexible with my time. And I've been an influence on you to help structure
to actually have a Google Calendar, because otherwise I'd just kind of woke up and just gone, maybe I'll do that today. And I'd never have got anything done, procrastinating.
Do you remember your first few weeks? And I remember... We were working.
Because you don't remember.
No.
No. We started working and he just got up and walked out the room and went downstairs and he like turned on the radio and started washing up and I went, is he washing up? It's like 10 o'clock by the way, and I was like quite 9 to 5
And he's never washed a dish before. Is that what you're going to say?
No. Oh God. No. He's the cook.
Yeah.
I'm the cleaner. We have our 50-50 role there. I just went downstairs and went, you all right? And he went, yeah. Okay. Do you not have any work to do? And he was like, yeah.
It's working from home, isn't it? It's like,
I was like,
I've gone from
Freedom.
teaching in the classroom, which is very much like you've got your classes, you need to be there, you need to do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is amazing. I can put some laundry on, wash some dishes, maybe make some quite extravagant dishes.
Yeah.
And then
do the hoovering.
Lottie was like, no, you've got a Google Calendar. Like, if you don't do that, when will you do it? I was like, tonight. She's like, that's fine, but we're going out tonight. We're doing this. And it was like,
we now have a joint calendar.
You actually have to really, as a business owner, you actually have to do
funny.
things.
You need your own discipline. I think that's the thing. Because it's especially if like there can be a lot of white space, especially when it comes to like content creation for yourself and things like that, where it's like, well, it will get done. It will just get done when it gets done, you know? Like, I'm very much the same. I have a list to do. It'll always get done by Friday, but it probably could be done in a bit more of an organised way. But I think that's the thing with being a business owner. You now haven't got, especially if you've gone from employed, you haven't got anybody to tell you when to start, when to take your lunch. This is the work I need you to do. This is when it needs to be finished by. Yeah. You need to create that own discipline and structure yourself.
Massively.
I was that for you,
and you helped a lot kind of with like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Try that.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I felt like I was caged in by this Google Calendar. I couldn't work out.
Couldn't wash up at 10 a.m.
I just couldn't work. I just wouldn't like, even though I'd followed a timetable in teaching, literally a timetable, a different version, I was just freaking out and I was like, this is really difficult. But 3 years in now, I'm kind of just about accepting of the Google
This
Calendar.
morning, he literally laughed. It's kind of went, I'm 45 minutes, like, what is it, behind my scheduled Google Calendar. And I was like, look, you do.
But normally I'd go days without checking it. Now it's 45 minutes to an hour. So it's I'm making progress.
You've made humongous progress. You're doing really, really well. I think it's just more like, that sounds so passionate.
Primary teaching.
No, you are. I'm super proud of you because I wouldn't be where we are now.
Have you always been like that, like organised and structured and quite, like, I know, no? How have you, because I think a lot of people listening to this, because, you know, I'm definitely one of those as well, where, you know, it's like Sunday afternoon, you plan the week and I've got it colour-coded and everything, and by 9:15 on Monday, I've fucked it, it's all gone wrong. But there's an element of actually, how do you get, like, because like you say, if you're the business owner and you've got to do it yourself, obviously you've helped Luke do it, like, how have you found that, and what have you found help you to be routined and structured and actually making sure that everything's to a calendar?
I think one of the things that I found, being a teacher as well, I obviously know his weaknesses and his strengths. I look at him as a 5-year-old child because my year group was year 1. So I just looked at him and went, he's not working. How are we going to make this work? No, to be honest, like, first year, I just knew, being a VA at the beginning, we're packages now, but it was hourly. So I would work out like, right, I'll do my emails at this time, then I'll do client A, and there would be the colour red, and I just found colour schemes worked for me. But before then, it was my mum, actually, oddly. I don't know if you know this or not. But so I used to work for her. She owns like a letting agency in the local area. And I used to work for her, and I said to her, like, I'm really struggling to get all of this done. And she was like, well, why don't you prioritise it in order? So you write everything down on, like, you know, say it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday across a couple of pages. And then you go, write everything you need to get done this week. And then look at it, number it in priority order, and then put it into Monday to Friday. One of the strictest things that I've had to be really conscientious of is because mentally for me, if I work on the weekend, I don't think I've had any time off. especially because I come from teaching as well. It was like 6 or 7 day weeks. So I can't do what you do, which is on a Sunday, which is great. For some people it works, but my weeks are like, on a Friday, I will write all my stories for Instagram on the Friday. I'll look at my diary for the next week to know what the personal story is going to be, and then whatever my structure is, and I'll write it all on Friday so that the next week I go in, I'm just copying and pasting off Trello.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was the only way that I could make it work, but I'm now changing that routine. And funny enough, I was literally doing it today because I've just taken on a really big client as well as coaching, so I'm kind of dabbling a new venture. So I tried to look at it through weeks of the month. So like week 4 of the month is now my strategy day for the following month. And then week 1 would be the calls with the clients discussing the strategy. And then the rest of the month is mine to get the content done for the following month.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only way I could do it in essence of as an agency. But when I first started, it was like, it was a lot more breezy because I didn't need to have that many clients. But as you grow, you kind of have to nurture and find what works. I mean, don't get me wrong. We'll see what the next month goes because I've had to change it up. But I agree. Like, I think the only way I could do it is color code it. And I love 9 to 5. I'm actually like the opposite to what everyone wants. I love 9 to 5, except for a Monday. Monday I have reformer at 9 and I refuse to work until 10:30. That's the only day where I'm like, actually, I like an ease into the week.
I think you have a massage booked on Friday afternoon.
I do, yeah. I finish Friday lunchtime. So my weeks are 4 days, more or less. Would that work out for? Yeah, 4 days a week. But on the Monday to Friday. But I love Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday being 9 to 5. I just feel like I can get work done, get going. Do you guys work 9 to 5? Is it quite flexible for you?
It's pretty flexible. I'm really creative like early in the morning. So for me, like I'll naturally wake up early and I'll just get straight away into work because
What do
I
you
find
classify early.
5:30, 6.
Okay.
Is that not early?
That
I
is
don't know.
early.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're having a cup of tea in bed at 6.
No, but for me, that's when I know like I'm most productive.
No distractions.
And I think as well, like with the business owner, a lot of what we do now is creative, like content and stories and everything. And it's actually knowing when you are best at that point.
Yes.
You know, because even I'll be similar to you, especially if you've had client work through the day. You know, clients will give you X amount of ideas for content, so that's written down, ready for the next day. But then people aren't like that, right? Some people like won't work in the morning because actually they much prefer a lion. And then
I work best in the evening.
Yes.
Do you?
So
You do.
I have 2 young kids. So once they're in bed, I will then batch some hours of work in the evening. That works for me. It hasn't always worked that way, but since having...
So have you become more nocturnal since having children?
Yes. Yeah, I'd say.
I guess it's not your choice though, really, is it?
No, I have the alarm clock in the morning, but I'm not disciplined enough to be setting my alarm even earlier to get up and do some work in the morning. So, but I come alive in the evening. So that's when I'm productive and get a lot done in that time. Yeah, we're all different.
It's true. You used to do that.
Yeah, I find I get, not all the time, but
He has naps
I've started to have naps. Yeah,
in the day.
This year
It's called a
I've got
nappuccino. That's what he calls it.
I have my
Mate,
double
that's the freedom.
finish lunch. Yeah, 100% finish lunch, double
It's got a classic word on
espresso, 20-minute nap.
And then your power ready.
Because otherwise,
nice.
if I can carry on, like I haven't had an cappuccino this whole week. But then if I've got to
He actually said to me last night, he was like, "You're going to be so proud of me. I didn't have a nappuccino."
I haven't
And I was
had one
like,
nap this week.
well done, honey. You've really moved up in the world.
You being
I
this
haven't had a
business owner.
nappuccino. I haven't had a nappuccino is making it to your Instagram.
Yeah, that has to be on there.
But if I've got like content to create for myself or for my clients, if I carry on, which I can, I get quite sluggish. Whereas that 15-20 minute nap, when
Gives you
I
the
then
energy
come
that you
back,
need.
my brain's completely clear and I can just smash stuff out, and I find it so much easier.
He's found it. It's worked for him, which has been insane. Like,
Yeah.
I'm jealous because unfortunately I'm kind of like, I have my mum's mindset where it's like, no, keep going, come on. So I'm like, go on, 9 to 5, yeah. Whereas I'm like, oh, sometimes I'm just like, but I know I need to make up the time if I lose it. Whereas I love evenings.
If you're on an hourly, so if we kind of go to where you started, you were a VA yourself,
Yeah,
you started
yeah.
that, and then you were in a position financially that then allowed Luke to leave his job too.
Yeah.
So were you both acting as VAs and social media support yourself before you then became an agency? How did that transition?
To be fair, I was an agency within the first 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was fully booked my goals weren't like, get me clients. My goal was like, I need to cover my half of the mortgage. That was the only goal. And that was like 750 quid at the time, because that covered the bills as well. And then I was like, cool, made it. Month 1. Then I was like, right, what do I do now? I was like, month 2. I was like, oh, get 1 client. And then by month 3, I was on my wage as a teacher. And then by month 6, I was at 5k. But I was doing quite a lot of ridiculous hours to make 5k. And I wasn't at the point where I had enough confidence to know that I was worth £40 an hour. Whereas at the time, I was on like lots of different roles and lots of different hourly rates. So I brought on associates. When they asked me if I had a social media manager, I was like, well, that's not my forte, but I could find someone for you and I'll look after them. They're like, yeah, cool. So my packages were just so low, and my profit margin was like £50 a client. But I was so proud. I was like, that pays my mobile. When you just look, you can imagine all these things when you're taking it off when you first started. And then I think it was within a year, I powered on through. I'd learned a lot. I'd done a couple of courses. I took on that 2 Laura's social media course and was like, right, I really enjoy social media. I wanted to sack off the PA thing because that just wasn't really what I wanted to do. And then slowly but surely I built up. So I had like a team of, I think 12 by the time Luke came on, didn't I?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, but I was managing my own clients, the team.
And these are freelance VAs themselves or social media support?
All of the girls are VAs, and all our team are more or less VAs really, aren't they? But they specialise in social media, and if they don't really do it our way, we'll kind of like mould them into what we want for our business, because obviously it's your business at the end of the day that they're working on behalf of. But they all specialise in like graphics, engagement, things like that.
Websites.
That's their strengths. Yeah, so it ended up that way. I'm hoping I answered your question.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, we just go off on a...
how ultimately, I was interested to know how the growth happened, how you scaled from being the 2 of you, but I didn't realise that you already had a team of...
I did.
I came
It was
into
about a
a
year and a
team, but
half.
I was going to be originally just like a silent
An
team
engagement
member,
specialist,
doing,
white label.
doing a lot of quiet,
Luke was my
typey
white
work,
labeller,
but
weren't
then
you?
it kind of became...
Evolved. I think it just got to a
time.
point where Luke was doing some engagement. I got to a point where Luke was just sat there like having too much of a good time.
I had very little
So you needed to give
responsibility,
him some more.
Just napping the whole time.
pretty much, it's full-blown afternoons.
It just made no sense why I was paying out for support when I had someone fully capable in hand. And I said to
And you
Luke,
keep
like,
more income into the household.
100%.
Exactly,
Told you,
yeah.
we were money greedy at the beginning, whereas now it's like it's all about sustainability, isn't it? Financial freedom, but the sustainability side. You don't need lots of money to have a good life.
The lifestyle that you...
Exactly.
to enjoy.
It's about having that bit of
Balance.
freedom,
The fulfillment
good bit
of it.
of balance.
You know what I mean? You want to literally
100%.
get to the Monday and actually be fulfilled with what your days and week looks
I'm
like.
excited.
Yeah.
Do you remember dreading work? Have you ever dreaded work? Well, yeah, you've been here 20 years. We can talk.
Yeah,
you sit in the corner.
No, fortunately not. But you've obviously yourself been at capacity and at the point of
Exhaustion.
of maybe what a lot of other business owners out there and listening in are feeling themselves. So obviously the business can't run without you at the moment, and you know, I don't know what your goals are long term, but there's lots of other business owners out there that are wearing all of the hats.
Yeah.
As we are at the beginning, when you're keeping all the costs down and you're the social media, you're the accountant, you're the sales, you're the operations, you're absolutely everybody. What would you say, or what signs would you say a business owner would recognise to know when they need to get a VA or a social media person on board?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'll let you go first.
When do they need you, basically?
Yeah.
I would say...
Now. No.
Yesterday.
No, that's a red flag to me. If they say yesterday, I'm like, you're too far. We need to strip it back.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would say when it's starting to, obviously budget in mind, when it's starting to really negatively impact them as a person, I think, is when it's definitely time to really look at getting some stuff off their plate, because otherwise start your business to essentially make your life better is kind of the goal of that. And then if it's negatively impacting you and kind of feeling quite cagey all the time, then it's kind of lost its purpose a little bit. So I think at that point, potentially, it's quite a good
I'll
time.
top up that. It's even, you can see the traits because they're either burning out. Like what you were saying, it's like actually, is the quality that you're giving your clients starting to speed up and there's minimal mistakes being made, there are some cracks in your systems that maybe just need someone to come in to support. You don't need someone for like 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a month. You can literally have someone for 10 hours. Imagine what you could get about with 10 hours a month. Like that's the equivalent of a day and a half, more or less. Some people that's 2 days. And I would say that for us, it was looking at going, right, you were saying about hats, right? Are you skilled in social media? Do you like admin? It's like you're a business owner because you want to work with your strengths. It's something that you enjoy. So why are you going for places and why are you trying to juggle everything alone? You'll actually burn yourself out and become unhappy in your business if you're not doing the things that you love, right? We love the creative side. If I was bogged down by editing TikTok videos and scheduling daily, I would literally not enjoy my work. Whereas I love the videos, like I do acting, so obviously I love being in front of the camera. Whereas Luke doesn't. Luke loves being on behind the scenes. You love onboarding, you always have done, haven't you?
Yeah, I like the admin, the kind of the process-driven stuff. I do like the creative, the copywriting side of things as well. I really enjoy doing that, kind of just getting to sit down and kind of...
He loves his musicking, getting on, whereas I'm always like, I love the social element, so I love going to like the networking and stuff. So it's just finding your assets and go, do you know what? I really don't enjoy this. And if you don't, start tracking your time. That was the big thing, wasn't it? It was tracking our time. So we used Toggle Tracker for like a month when we were both doing it. Because we both sat there going, we're working ridiculous hours and we're not earning a lot of money. What's going on? You have to look inwardly. Yeah. Then we tracked our time for about a month on different tasks. So like you would click the button, it'll be emails. Then it'd be like, I'm working on client X, client Z. Right, I'm now doing content creation for my own business, like literally accounts, bookkeeping, anything you can think of that you were doing. And then when we looked at the structure at the end of the month, we were like, oh, wow. That gave us a real nutshell. It was the data.
Yeah, 100%.
So almost traffic lighting, how much time you're spending on each task, whether it's admin, social media, or the doing. To recognise that people could free up their time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think... especially for me, because I procrastinate a lot anyway, but if there's something that I don't really want to do, or I don't enjoy, if I don't enjoy doing it, then I'll just keep putting it off. And I know lots of people do that when I speak to people about social media and stuff. They're like, oh, I know I'm supposed to, but I always run out of time, never get around to it.
On our own socials. All of us,
and it's one of those where actually if you had that time, that task given to someone else, you're not feeling guilty, you're not procrastinating. You can spend that time doing a tip run, having a nap, whatever it might be, taking on more clients, whatever it is that you actually want to do.
Planting some beds.
It takes away the mental load as well, though, right?
100%. So it's just like that's now being taken care of.
The brain capacity,
to then reflect,
the
actually, is my business doing what I want it to do? Do I want to be going in this way? Am I going to reach my goals? Do I need to launch a new thing? All that kind of stuff.
Do you know what's been the biggest thing for us? And I think why we scaled so quickly was being able to have the opportunities to reflect. Like, how often do we as business owners reflect on our own business?
Yeah.
Do you do that often?
No, because it's funny you say it, because we were literally speaking about it this morning as well on another podcast about reflection. Yeah, but it's how we don't do it, though. You know what I mean? I think sometimes you're caught on the hamster wheel of building, delivering at the same time, and then it's like actually sitting back and being like, from a bigger scale, actually, is this what I want to build? But also like the reflection of the day and the week and the month, and actually, where the holes are, what I need to plug, and everything and also personal reflection as well.
I think we're all quite guilty of always wanting to work at the next thing, build the next thing, grow, evolve, and we forget what we have achieved and where we've got to already on our journey.
I agree.
So, I know that you're excited about some other things that you are launching currently, which is really exciting, but also look at where you've come as well.
I know, when you said about multi-award winning, I was like, just take this micro moment. This is so cool. We're in a podcast having a chat, all of us like talking about it. And you're right, it's those mini moments we don't take in. And it's really funny you said that, because I think it's also reflecting and knowing, what are your goals? Like, we're very fortunate that we over reflect, possibly. Like, we have monthly reflections, quarterly reflections, we even have weekly reflections. Like, we sit on a Friday and look at the timetable and go, right, what went well
we do
this
the weekly
week?
debrief.
We do a weekly debrief together and go, what went well, why didn't it go well? So we're constantly smoothing cracks, but also enabling ourselves to have a bit more freedom. We haven't done that in a while, have we?
No.
We should now. This is a great learning curve.
It's a good reminder.
Do you also reflect with your clients at all on obviously what they come to you for, and then reflecting on whether that's, if it might be that they wanted to free up a day a week for themselves? Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll kind of constantly look back. What was the original objective of coming on to say do the social media? Was it to get clients? How are you getting on with that? Have you had clicks through to the website or to your sales page? How's that stuff going? And also kind of sometimes bringing people back in to being like, remember you wanted to push this when you're trying to make me talk about this. Maybe we just stick to what you actually want. What you've wanted us to do. Do you want to shift the objective?
Yeah.
Because if so, fine. But we need to redo the strategy. We need to think about this. We can't just go from everything's pointing to here to then going, but what about that?
Yeah.
It's like there's a bit more.
It's just flitting between one to the next, isn't it?
Yeah. It's almost been the voice of reason being like, that is fine. Are we definitely doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then do it.
I coach other virtual assistants.
Okay.
So their main goal is like, I want to get to 5K. And I'm like, okay, great. We can get there. Right. Let's focus on clients. And then 2 months in, they go, oh, I've been focused on my clients. And I'm like, what about you? What about your focus, your business? Like, we need to change this now. And she's like, oh, but I've got all these ideas. And I'm like, okay, let's just hone it in. What's the goal here? I'm sure you got that with accountancy. Sometimes like, I want a £500,000 house. How do I get there? And you're like, okay, right.
Yeah, I've been putting through very tax efficient books for years.
Yeah, and you're like,
I've been making £12,500 every year.
We're in a bit of trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. You need
efficient.
to bear that in mind, the longer term goal, ultimately, in all of the decisions that you're making in your business, ultimately. We all want to pay as little tax as possible, but that, bites us in the bum when you then want that
100%.
bigger dream house or whatever it is that you want.
Pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
We have it all the time. I'm sure you've got it with socials as well. They get so excited. Like we had a client who wanted to do a launch. Oh no, this is funny. I had a client come in and they wanted to do a launch within 3 weeks. And I was like, yeah, that's just not going to happen. And she was like, no. My coach said it could be. And I was like, no. As your marketing manager, I've done 6 or 7 launches and most of them being very successful. I was like, you need a 6-week window where we create it. Like, we need to nurture your audience. Like, you can't go cold turkey into an audience. You haven't nurtured them in the top, like, funnels and stuff. And she was just like, oh, and I was like, but it's great. Don't worry. I love the idea. We just might need a little bit longer. And she's like, okay. And you're like, oh, love the ideas. But you just kind of sometimes have to.
From your experience.
Yeah.
So do you offer... what's your service offering? Packages, tiered packages? How does it work? In a nutshell.
Very good question. I guess with the virtual assistant kind of business support side of things, we do that more, I guess, on a bespoke basis. It's kind of, we have the initial form to fill in kind of where they share current problems, goals, that kind of thing. And then we have a call with them if it's an applicable kind of application, and then discuss, right, this is how I think would best support you. We had one this week with a guy who runs a big finance business, and he needs basically just support for him. So that was kind of like, right, you need someone reactive, be able to like support you during your business hours. So we can then kind of tailor the overall package rather than kind of just a lump of hours. It's like, this is the support that you will need. And then for the social media, again, it's a very similar process. We do have our we've got like consultancy, so kind of like a done with you kind of supportive kind of thing.
A lot of people are going for that now though, aren't they? You did quite a lot of market research recently, and a lot of people said like, I know how to do social media, like I know my pillars, but it's more just putting it on paper and having accountability for it at the same time.
And being able to kind of have that second pair of eyes, because whether you know what you're doing with social media or you're leaning very heavily on Claude or ChatGPT, whatever it is, you've got then something, but then you want to run that by someone that does it all the time, because then they've got kind of the credibility and the expertise to say that a lot of that's good, maybe change this. And so that's kind of like our newer and growing area of that. And we've also got another done with you, which is our social assist package, which is kind of like VA support. So it's our most flexible package. It's done hourly, and that can be used kind of how the business owner wants.
But specifically for social media.
So it's like some people love doing the caption writing, but they hate the idea of going into Canva and spending hours kind of dragging images around. So
I have a VA.
So
in the team that does all of it for us.
So then that's an option where some people want to be the voice, they want to record the videos, but they don't want to have to write the captions, edit everything.
Visuals, yeah.
Then we can get someone from the team with the graphic design expertise to then come in and take that over for them. So then they can focus on not doing that.
Also, it's nice to have another pair of eyes. It's also creative, like, you know, bringing someone on who's also a social media manager. Like when she does my graphics, I'm like, I love these, but I just can't get it on the graphic. Then she just comes in and warps it, and I'm like, oh my God, you made it even better than I envisioned. And you just have to going, pick your strengths, and our strengths are strategy, brainstorming, consultancy. That's our big thing that we're both very, very
100%.
good at, aren't we? So then we just bring everyone else on board. So it's kind of more or less what we're focusing on now, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's either the virtual assistants, administration, emails,
Systems.
but that's more of a personal PA, wasn't it, for Matthew?
Yes.
For the gentleman. Whereas for social assist, that's more like a business owner who wants to take on the strategy themselves, but they just want us to come in and just take care of the administration side of a social media.
Yeah, a bit of the mental load of that whole thing. So rather than having to stress about it, it's like you've got a pathway to follow. So it's then much more of a, not quite painting by numbers, but it's that kind of approach. It's a bit more you turn up, you've got a thing to do, a time slot to do it, so then they can do it rather than just looking at this huge task of social media, which is quite hard to break down.
Yeah, because it's like where to start, you know what I mean? Especially if they're not consistent on it. Like you say, a lot of people know they need to be on it, but it's actually, what do I do? Do you know what I mean? The general questions are, do I do a video? Do I do written? Is it a carousel? Like, what should my bio look like? And it's things like that, which is hard. But like you say, that soundboard almost and that clarity, it almost then just gives them the confidence. It's like giving them that safe space where it's like, 90% of what you've done is great. Let's add that. And they're like, oh shit, yeah, maybe I can do it. You know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I was saying to you about the graphic and the structure? So it's really nice because I think you came out with it, but it was like on Trello. It's like you'll say all your ideas, we'll type it all out, and then we'll just batch it into each week and then go, right, what did you mean by this? Right, how could we make this? And would you prefer to do it as like, we'll literally dab it down for them. So they want to do a talking head video or a carousel or a single graphic, whatever that looks like. But sometimes the ideas that you have, you just get a blockage to put it down, don't you? And that's kind of like what you've been doing, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's
definitely.
really helped.
Yeah.
What you're also coaching other VAs, which is another sideline to the agency. And Luke, you're currently working on a new launch.
Yes.
Do you want to give a little teaser into what that's about?
Yeah, of course. So it's a product or an offer that we've done for quite a few years actually now, but it always takes a slightly different approach. So just kind of been doing quite a bit of market research recently to kind of try and focus it in a bit and kind of hone it in to make it the best version that it can be. So it's basically for busy business owners. We find service providers it works best with because they've kind of got, well, I think with products quite easy, it becomes a paid ads, e-commerce type situation. Whereas with the service that we're looking at for the service providers, they've got loads of good ideas, but they're not sure, is this the right thing to share? Should it be a talking head, carousel? How many times do I post? Do I share a picture of my cat, coffees to stories? Do I just post that all the time?
Planting seeds.
Talking about their own offer kind of gives themselves the ick a bit. They're like, I don't want to be selly.
Yeah.
I don't want my friends and family to see these types of things. And that's what we help with, to kind of do the background stuff. So then for them, it becomes much more clear, much more collaborative, and they can actually get some decent output from.
So you're looking at like a whole month's worth of stuff within like a 90 minutes.
Within a 90-minute sort of call, done collaboratively, delivered to you. So then you've got a clear path. You don't have to go, what type of, we do the hooks together, the call to action, so they know exactly all of the kind of main sticking points that normally stop people. They're sorted, so it's kind of just a green light situation.
Would there be accountability, or is it a kind of the 90 minutes together, you get what you need, and then it's down to the business owner to get that posted? Is that what you mean?
They handle that side of things.
Yeah.
There are options kind of, again, with our social assist package to get some support with that if they really want to get it off their plate.
That could be an added
but
feature.
one of the things that actually
It could be though, couldn't it? You could go for this amount or this amount.
Yeah, it came up in my market research calls. Actually, a couple of people were saying that all sounds great, and they'll go to like a free webinar from someone on social media saying, "Oh, you can do X amount of posts in 1 hour."
Yeah, do you remember in 30 minutes you'll get a 30 days worth of posts, and you're like, no, you won't. That's just Claude.
Then they attend these things and then they're full of ideas. They've color coded their notebook and they're buzzing because they're going to smash out 3 months content, sell loads of stuff. Then they go to do it, and the motivation's gone, and they're like, "Oh, what was that? What is this?" So that's something that's come up a couple of times in the discover market research calls. So thinking about adding a kind of monthly accountability call where it's kind of like a co-working call, basically.
But everyone basically doing their socials for their own business. We were thinking about, because we were like, do you know what? That would actually really help us. You know,
it helped me stay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, it would help me.
Yeah.
Because then you're not focusing on clients. You're like, no, I'm focusing on my business, on my socials. I'm going to give myself 3 hours on it. It works.
Amazing.
Yeah. Have you done a co-working online before?
Not online, actually. No.
Have you?
No.
You do once a
In
month,
person,
don't you?
in person, but
I find in person I get really distracted very easily. Like when I'm at Patch, I'm only doing socials for the day because I know I'm only going to get half of it done, because you're just talking to people, because part of it is networking. Yeah.
which is also good. But
Which is amazing. But then when you're sat there like meant to be co-working, you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, I do get it.
I do. By the time I get back, I'm like, I'm going to have to double up my work now because I just
It's actually
haven't got
taking me longer.
Yeah. So we do like co-working, but we all sit together, but we all work quietly on like a music playing. Or they play their own music, whatever. Then we'll come back together, have a quick chat, and then we'll all go for like a 10-minute walk around the block, around our areas. Like we keep it really structured together, and I get so much work done.
Yeah.
So I've tried to keep it a thing. Yeah, it was nice.
Wow. Amazing. Loved hearing your journey.
Thank you.
So you're the face of but we're looking forward to seeing more of Luke.
Yeah, if you start getting couples photos, and we are going on a branding shoot.
We do, don't we?
He's
We've got
so
one
excited.
in June, and we've got one later in the summer.
I'm going to go and get your hair done.
Cannot wait. Yeah.
Luke, excited?
Yeah, I might have my yearly haircut just for it. Splash
Just
out.
before summer, we're using a local supplier. I think it's Kate Brand. She's really good. She does like
She's a lot of your other ones, hasn't she?
She's done all of mine so far. It's really cool. She does like 4 shoots, and you can pick out like 12 in the local area, and she'll take like 80 photos of you per shoot.
Oh, nice.
And I've done it like the beach huts. It's always outside.
I think we're doing one in London, aren't we?
We are. We're going to like a graffiti
Shoreditch, I think it
wall.
is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so I've already created a Pinterest for you.
Amazing.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So watch out. You'll be seeing Luke's face much more now that I don't have to take them.
Looking forward to seeing that. Oh, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your story, guys.
Guys, where can people find you?
Oh, well, they can find us on Virtual Lottie or our website, virtuallottie.com.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Guys,
On Instagram.
appreciate it.
On Instagram, yeah.
Instagram, yeah.
Instagram, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
And to everyone watching, if you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And of course, this episode was recorded at BH Podcast and Streaming Studio.